I'm very happy to talk today to Julian. We got to know each other more or less a year ago. And I must say, I don't know much about perfume, but I'm very interested in it. And obviously, it's very nice to smell the perfume and to remember certain smells. And I have a lot of questions for Julian, and we won't have time enough. First of all, I would like to ask you if you could say what you are doing in very short words. What is your daily job? What are you doing?
There's a lot of work in research of plants, extraction, distillations with different techniques, and composition of scents. So those are the three areas of work that I spend time. It's not about the formulation only, but which plant is interesting to research, no? Because what I believe and the base of what I like or enjoy to do is to provide that plant to a person. No? I think that is the thing that matters, that adds value, that creates something special. You know, not formulate with synthetics or molecules and create something that you can create still something beautiful, but that's not what I do. What I do comes from more bringing the plants into the bottle.
You are doing an artisanal work with highest technology. And it's an ongoing experimentation. You are not adapting always similar formulas, understanding the market, what is selling good, what is selling bad. You have your own research part. So you started with something and then you made it broader, or how did you start?
It started by creating an installation, actually, not a perfume brand. Before doing this, I was doing the family business, which is art. My father is an artist, brother also. And I found in scent a new way of expression, more powerful than, or at the end, I wasn't good in the other ways of expression. And I found something that could give me a second chance or a third. And the beauty, in fact, what I believe back then and still believe is that it can be a way of expression because of how we humans react to plants. And the starting point of this journey was a Nobel Prize paper, which actually provide the scientific facts of what's going on when we are interacted with volatiles that they are created by mostly plants, but it could also be minerals or animals. So my idea wasn't the traditional European perfume school, or because I was in fact didn't wearing perfume back then, no, and only
You were not using perfume.
Only the typical cologne 4711 that an aunt give you for Christmas, that kind of of perfume experience. So the idea was to create these landscapes that I was, where I was living in the Mesopotamia in Argentina, and then going a lot to our farm in Patagonia, and try to distill it and create that chord, that living chord. And I started, Royal We, with, with 14 scents, and I designed this glass flask. It was already designed, it was a piece of the lab, but I designed to put it upside down and allowed you to experience the scent without a sales girl, no? So that's how we started to create these scented landscapes, no?
What was your first success story in terms of that you thought, there might be interest for what I'm doing, and that gave you the power of will to continue, because you did a different path than most people. You are not coming from any school. You're not following the official perfume rules. So you had a different kind of view, and sometimes it's difficult to be accepted.
No doubt. And I wasn't using the ingredients used in perfume. I was using ingredients that I took from traditional medicine. So my shortcut was to say, okay, in South America, the same as in Asia and even in Switzerland, you use a lot of plants, a lot of infusions, and in order to feel good, digestion, feel more energetic, sleep, aphrodisiac maybe, typical things. And these ingredients, they weren't in a traditional palette later, of course, I discovered. So the idea was to start extracting and start using those as building blocks in the formulations. But then, of course, you extract something that it's a very complex solution, and maybe if you start blending them, you get something very strong and not a perfume. So you need to start fractionating different groups of molecules and get the heart of that ingredient, but also a lot of unscented molecules that those plays basically an important role in the effect of that plant in our brain. For the last 25 years, Argentina has been very close to importations because they didn't have dollars to pay for. So the economical condition was very chaotic, but it's also, it's your life, it's your daily thing. You can complain every day, but still you have to move on. And you enter into some kind of survival mode, and creativity and doing things that you like becomes subconsciously more important or more relevant in day by day, But also you find opportunities all the time because business close. so I found this little boutique in front of the Park Hyatt, so the location was very good. And I said, okay, maybe here I can do an installation, put these 15 concoctions that I create, and make believe it's a perfumery. But people, it's not that Argentinians customers said, this is so cool, give me 2. No, it was, nice, cool, whatever, bye-bye. It didn't happen a confirmation that what I was doing was something that with a commercial potential. One key aspect was vertical integration. Everything that we do is done by ourselves. So we had a way of modifying our mistakes or things that doesn't work, or to identify the things that create something positive or people like, and we can equalize everything, no? So we have control on the plants, on the fractioning, on the composition, on the maceration, the way that we create, and again, there's this intention of respecting the plant, what the effect of the plant, because all these people that you mentioned, and they are just experiencing something, no, without the bias of a big brand, or so it's genuine the effect, and it validates the decision of using these incredible plants in our products. I think that, and this is something that it opens something in the brain of everyone in Japan, or in Argentina, in the States. We have business all over the world, basically, and the fascination for these smells is universal in a way, no? And these building blocks that nature use, it can be repeated in different unexpected ingredients. It was a Nobel Prize on medicine, and it talks basically on the release of hormones that we experience when we start smelling these things. Also the perception of time, the blood pulsation. So all these changes happen simultaneously and without any preconditioning, just the impact of these molecules that they are a kickstarter, un disparador of these memories. So I think that if you add this, I make you smell that. If I'm lucky, you're going to entertain with something that you enjoy for sure, because it's the language of nature, not my language.
What I think is very interesting is that you have not studied it, and that you usually, if you produce perfume, you have a nose, no? Somebody who is deciding this smells good, this not, what to mix. Not. So you actually invented for yourself a way. You are a self-taught perfumier and a designer too, because the flacon you developed is really, really beautiful, which is used usually in laboratories, chemical laboratories. You just turn them upside down, put them on please drink your water. So if this is the bottle of the perfume and without the closure, this other thing is on top of it. So you can then smell with this container the aroma, the bouquet of what you've created. And the showroom is very, very beautiful. It's done of a lot of these bottles. And I think this is interesting. A person who works on something immaterial, self-taught, but at the end there is a designer in everybody of us, isn't it?
No doubt. But what there's in my case is controlling, of trying to control things, and consistency. That so all the boutiques, they were designed by myself, and most of the furnitures as well, in order to create the mood, to kind of conditionate or prepare the right environment. No? But it's also, we use solid woods. We don't use like laminated woods. It's all, if you go to the one in Milano, it's all made with abete rosso, Picea bies, which is the spruce from the Italian Swiss Alps. Creates an acoustic chamber that it's a fantastic environment. The colors, it's an indigo that we distill from different plants. So all the indigo that it's applied to this spruce, as you know, is a white wood. It's created by us. The design of the tables, the light, we manufacture the lights. Everything is. So the shops in Japan, in New York, all is under our own creation. One of the advantages of modernity in the times that we're living is that there's incredible technology, and we use as much as we can in order to create cleaner extracts using clean green solvents that allows us to get more facets of a plant. No? But also when you create this extract and you want to separate things that you like, how they smell, or that you think that might be useful for one thing or another, you need to understand what's inside that compound. So you need a gas chromatography and mass spectrometry. The first device allows you to identify the molecules, the second one to identify in which percentage, in which mass. And this basically gives you the formula. There's many plants that only create their scent once a month at night during half an hour. And if you cut that plant, you won't distill anything valuable. It's going to be no scent. But if you capture the headspace of that plant during that hour, you can then have the recipe of nature in order to create that scent. So a lot of my approach on creating scent was copying nature scents, nature patterns. So the same you can apply it in other emitting objects, no? Such as 300 years old Stradivarius, and understand what's been going through these 300 years of the wood, the resins, the varnish, how it has been oxidized, the transpiration of the different violins, of the violinist. And we can capture and create something that is exactly that scent. No? Maybe it's not worth it, but maybe it is. And in a plant or in an object. No? So it's all about the learning and what the things that matters to us. No? If we are playing an instrument and we're smelling actually the smell of that guitar by the heat of our body, the friction, it activates the same part of our brain simultaneously.
So you're working with the museums, with the archives,
Sí.
and try to capture the smell of...
See, try to capture things and see if then they're useful or for something. We're still not sure about that
That's
part.
really experimental.
But well, it's my work, so.
Thank you very much, Julian.
Muchas gracias.
Maybe there's a question from the audience.
Dale.
Yes.
Thank you. Hello, hi. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, as an interior designer, I'm really interested in the way to use scent within like interior design. You kind of spoke a little bit about it, but I was wondering if you have like more work about like how like spaces apart from just like the general kind of home scent and.
See, it's the problem with the scent and space is that the people creating scents and scented devices for spaces, or to put it in a different way, we are very sensitive to smell, and usually what works is below our threshold of perception. So if we enter into a space and there's lavender or a lavender candle or whatever, it's already too much for us to enjoy it subconsciously, no? Because all these transformations that happens in our brain, we are not being aware of them. So we feel good about a place. We feel a place can be mystical or can be welcoming or threatening due to the presence of all these volatile molecules. So my approach to scent diffusion, that we are working a lot on that, is not being perceived, but being effective on the feeling of that space, which is not economically good for me because I'm selling you a scent device that doesn't have any scent. It's good for the designer because design something that feels great, the space, not only by the design, but there's additional elements that make you feel good. And an easy example is the music. No? You have a space with good music, good acoustics rather than music as well. No? Everything it's a equalization of elements that creates a positive impact on a commercial space, either if it's retail, the interior of an airplane, the interior of a car. We are working with big car companies. In fact, because the car is such a small environment, you really need to manage the intensity and the lastingness of this.
Hello. So I think it was 2020. Oh, you brought out your fragrance with sanitizing properties. Yeah, I was just wondering if you've noticed like this shift in demand towards kind of functional fragrances or kind of perfumes with kind of more of a purpose than beauty, if you like.
Yes, it was. In fact, we launched it in March 2020, just on time with the pandemic. And it was a blend of 48, I think, something like that, different fractions of essential oils that they were very proven in different type of bacteria or virus. It's not that in scent, you need the synergy because some things can cover one or the other, so you have to put a lot in order to be safe that you are getting the effect done. I think that scent is something that can be very protective to us, as it is to the trees. Trees that sprays, conifers, all the conifers, they use essential oils as a way to create this cloud that protects themselves. No? And in a early morning with moist, what the Japanese calls asagiri, you have all these essential oils floating in this humidity. No? And it's if you walk by this forest, either Patagonia, Oregon, or Japan, or whatever, we experience a very protective and good feelings. No, so it's just how you can translate that into a bottle and use it ourselves. The fact of having the capabilities of combining these extracts in order to have something that is efficient against bacteria and virus, it was kind of a cool thing to add. No, if you not just the fact of scenting a fabric, but giving a functionality. If I'm already using the plants, well, let's also make it work.
Thank you, Julian. I know you brought something which you didn't want it to show. Let our audience please
See, there's
experience something.
well, in our gallery we have 115 cents. So when anyone says, "Can I smell something?" is challenging because for sure I will pick something that is not what you like. And then it's going to be very awkward, not to say, it was this. Mm. So when you are in our boutique, it's more easy that I might have something that entertains you. Thais, this is the flower of mate. Mate is an incredible herb, but this is the flower. So the flower is not distilled, not used, and it's like a Piptosporum, kind of very indolic, jasmine-oriented, but with its own kind of character. It's also similar to Osmanthus fragrance, Kinmokujin in Japanese. Jacaranda is the Albergia nigra, and a lot of redwoods. Cactus azul, we did this 10 years ago, is the flower of the cactus in northern Argentina. You have it? It's amazing. Then, very fresh. The concentration of this is a scent that it was the flower of the cactus. If you distill it, doesn't have any scent. But we did the capturing, the headspace of that flower. So, and then Valle de la Luna. I don't want to smell it because it's the smell of my ex. So, but it's very good. It's very good. I prefer to avoid it. Gracias. We have the glass. You can pick this up and